Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. In today's Fix It Friday, which is sponsored by AliExpress, we're going to be looking at this Nintendo GameCube. And I picked it up on eBay for around about £37, and the listing said that it had a faulty optical drive. And it came with the GameCube itself, a third-party controller, a power brick, and also a composite AV cable. Now the disk drives in the GameCube and all the consoles from that era are starting to fail. You can either replace them, you can adjust the lasers slightly with the potentiometers on them to try and increase the power that they supply, but that's not a lasting fix. So I thought I'd do something similar to what I did with my Sega Dreamcast. I'll stick a link to that video up in the corner, and that is to completely remove the optical drive and replace it with, well, basically an SD card reader. And this is it. So this is the Cube ODE, and I picked this up from AliExpress. I think it cost me around about £55. Now you can just buy this board on its own, or you can do what I do and buy the full kit, and you'll see what I mean by the full kit when we get into it. But with this, you remove the original optical drive, you plug this into the main board, and it's got an SD card slot, and you can put in backups of all your legally owned games onto an SD card and play them like they were original games. Now, if you want to purchase this or anything else from AliExpress, what I will do is I will put some codes on the screen in between my hands so you can save a little bit of money. Now these codes do have an expiry date on them, which is shown on screen. Now because I can't go back and change the videos once they're uploaded onto YouTube, if the codes have expired, then just look in the video description and I'll make sure there's some up-to-date ones in there for you. Now, I don't actually have any original GameCube games here with me. They're all off-site. So yeah, I can't actually show you this not working. But I guess before we get started on the video, we should make sure that it actually powers up. And actually, I'm really quite happy with this. It looks pretty good. I mean, the GameCube logo on the top is a bit scratched up, but for the era, it's actually not all that bad at all. So I don't necessarily think this will be something that we have to do a reshell of, but there is an HDMI mod that you can do to these. So I might do that in a future video, perhaps. Now this version does come with the digital AV out, which allows you to have a component output, and apparently that's really good. And you can just get an adapter that plugs into here and just whacks out an HDMI signal. But you might find that you've got a version that doesn't actually have this digital AV output, and it just has the standard Nintendo analog multi-AV out. I think what we should do first of all is establish that it powers up, and if everything's okay, we can disassemble it and install the Cube ODE. Cool, so I've got my capture set up behind me. Let's power it on. We've got sync. Do we have video signal? Yes, we do. Amazing. I haven't heard that sound in years. Yeah, all looks like it's working fine. So the time has come to disassemble this. So let's get out the grey mat and do that. Right, so let's crack into this. Now because I opted to get the full kit from AliExpress, I get a game bit screwdriver that's suitable for dismantling this. And we need to remove the 1, 2, 3, 4 game bit screws that are there. Now mine is the DOL001 Europe version. I think there's a DOL101 version. So let's get out these 4 game bit screws. That is the problem with drivers that get included from AliExpress. They're quite often not magnetic. Right, let's flip this over and pull the top off. Excelente. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit dusty in there. Might give it a blowout with the compressed air before it all goes back together, but certainly not hideous. So here is our optical drive that we want to remove. I suppose if you wanted to put in another optical drive, you could follow these steps and then put a new one in reverse. But these are on borrowed time really, which is such a shame, but yeah, it's just one of those things. So having something like the Cube ODE will increase the life of your GameCube. So first off, we need to remove this back panel. Should just lift out. There we go. And then we can pull out this front panel. There we go. You just pull away the little ribbon cable. Oh, it does have a coin cell battery there. I wonder if there's some sort of mod you can do, because I imagine that's probably dead, or if not dying. I'll have to investigate that. Oh yeah, that's a bit shmooey. Definitely give that a clean before we put that back together. So first job is to remove that fan unit there. So we've got to undo the 1, 2 Phillips head screws. And that should just lift out. There we go. We just have to remove this red and black connector that's here. Yeah, I'll give that a clean before it goes back in. Okay, so now there's a lot of screws to remove. We've got these 4 on the front that are by the controller ports. We've got the 3 on the side here from under the fan assembly we just removed. Then we've got 4 on the back, and then we have got 5 on the right-hand side. So yeah, let's get unscrewing. So while I'm unscrewing this GameCube, let's shout out our channel members. Channel members have gone one step above subscribing to the channel and offer a small monthly donation to help support it. If you want to become a channel member, just scan the QR code in the corner of the screen or follow the link in the description. Anyway, our channel members at time of editing are the Kip fans, who are Matt Lovey's JLC Electrical, For the Burbs, Wayne Cornish, Scott Made a Thing, Draco MacGyver, Rebecca, Gigsy80, Christiane, Francesco Demare, and Music Me. Then you have to get up super early to beat the Kip early birds, who are Tim Salt, Sorcerer Stan, Mark C and Rob Lynn. Then I love these guys so much. They are the Kip lovers, and they are Bella Webster, Stez Stixfix, Lawrence, Scott Kendall, Props Retrofix, Coasters Chelsea, DD Media Production, Lee Benz, Ann and David Hughes, Danielle Adele, and James and Danny. Then we have the nuttiest fruitcakes ever. They are the Kip Nutters, and they are the delightful Becky Boobar and the insightful Alan Green. And then finally, boom, right at the top here, we've got a Kip Mental, and that is RJ Prate. Thank you so much, RJ, for your top tier support. It is really appreciated. Big love to my Kip Nutters and all my other channel members too. Anyway, we've finally unscrewed all these screws. There we go. So hopefully now we should just be able to lift this whole assembly out. And we can. And yeah, there is our old drive. Now we are going to retain this metal piece here, so we have to remove the drive from the metal plate. So to do that, we've got to remove these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. And then we just pull it away from there. So yeah, this is our faulty disk drive unit. I might stick it on eBay as untested. I'm joking, I won't do that. So then we're just left with this metal shell. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the console downstairs into the garden and just give it all a bit of a blow with some compressed air, just to get rid of some of the schmoo and dust that's on it, because it is a bit disgusting. Right, I've given it a bit of a blowout and it looks okay. So now we've got to install our Cube ODE. So let's see what we get in this box. So we've got an instruction manual. We have got some installation screws, and we've got the unit itself. So yeah, this is just super clever. This plugs into the main board and makes the GameCube think that there's a drive installed. It just installs onto our metal plate like that. And then we just use the included screws to screw it in position. Now, if you've got a DOL 101 version, the screw mounting holes will be in a slightly different position, and instead of screwing in 3 of them, you just screw in 2. So let's flip this over. I opted to do this mod today because it's hot. I didn't really want to be doing any soldering. And this is probably as easy as it gets when it comes to modifying a console. So in theory now, you could just reassemble your GameCube minus the optical drive and just have a sort of big gaping hole where you could put your SD card into. But we won't do that because I want this to look a little more stock. And so that's why I opted for the full kit, which comes with some more stuff. So we've got this bracket. We've got an SD extender slot. We've got a USB to SD card guy there. We've got this guy that our extender is going to go into, and this will replace where the drive was with a nice SD card slot. And we've got all the screws we need. And then we've got a 64GB card, which I believe has some software on already. So if you just wanted to, you can just buy the kit with the board itself. I think it's around about £30, but you don't get an SD card or the other bits and bobs to make the GameCube look a little bit more finished, I guess. So yeah, it's up to you. It's horses for courses, but I'll make sure there's links to all the different options in the video description. So our first job really is to put the SD extender in position. So first thing we need to do is screw this sloped piece down in position. Now obviously we're screwing into fresh plastic, so there's no threads or anything. So you might have to apply a little bit of force as you're putting the screws in, but don't go crazy. Cool, so we've got our SD card slot ready. Right, so now we need to put this bracket guy on. And it's slightly hard to see, but this has got 4 screws to screw the 2 bits together. Okay, so I've put all those screws in, but it's actually only left me with 2 screws. And we've got 4 holes there. What I think I'll do is I'll just use a couple of the screws that the old drive was screwed in with. So we just got to now put our SD card into the SD card slot. Nice. And yeah, this mount then sort of marries up with the 4 holes that are on here. So yeah, I'm just going to use 2 of the screws that the old drive came out with. They should work. Lovely stuff. So we've got our Cube ODE there with the extender. And yeah, hopefully our 64GB card should slide in there nicely. Yes, it does. Excellent. So in theory, our new Cube ODE guy should mesh nicely with the connector that's on the original board. Hopefully. Seems to. Yeah, I've just got to put all the screws back in where they came from and get it back together. So I don't think you need to see that. So let's use the power of YouTube. Here we go, back together. And hopefully if we open this up now, that is so cool. That looks so smart. I love that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you could just not have this plastic guy and just have the sort of gaping hole and reach inside and swap out the SD card. But I think that just gives it a slightly more original look, even though this is nothing like the original now. So hopefully we should just be able to power it on and play some games, in theory. So let me readjust everything and get out my little screen so I can see properly what I'm doing. And hopefully we might be able to have some GameCube fun. And if you've watched this far into the video, maybe put "let's have some GameCube fun" in the comments so that I know that you're paying attention. Right, let's get the screen capture set up. Right, I think this should work, but we never know with my builds. So 1, 2, 3. Power lights on. We've got sync. Oh, yes. Okay, that's fine. There we go, look. So it's got Swiss for GameCube. So if we press confirm, press start to begin. I'll be honest with you, I was having a bit of trouble with this and I didn't really know how best to sort it out. I did suspect it could possibly be the SD card that came with it. I found another SD card that I had knocking around, a SanDisk one, and I copied across some of the ROMs and the boot file onto it, and it works. So yeah, I think the SD card that came with it has some kind of problem. I never really trust free or included SD cards with anything really. I always like to use my own. So yeah, that seems to be a bit of a problem. So let's have a little look. Let's go into the EU directory. This third-party controller is so janky. Oh, there we go. Mario Kart Double Dash. Yes, please.
Nintendo! Woohoo!
I haven't heard that music in years.
Let's go! Mario! Woohoo!
Running beautifully. Okay, so it's working. Good. Right, okay, let's just try. Oh, yes. Another favourite of mine from back in the day. Bit of Super Monkey Ball. Oh, again, haven't heard this in years.
Ready? Go!
Now the thing is with this, it doesn't just allow you to play the games off the SD card. It also, I think, allows you to sort of really get nerdy and proper technical, and I think you can run Homebrew and everything like that from the Cube ODE. So there's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more sort of fiddling and tweaking that you can do, like within the games, and you can change the settings and everything like that. So yeah, I would just say if you ordered this kit with the SD card, then just be aware that it might not be the best SD card in the world, and essentially you're just using it to get some backed up copies of games. It's an interesting product, and it's allowed me to actually use this GameCube and enjoy some classic games. Now, do you think I should go down the route of installing an HDMI mod into this? I might do that. I mean, I know this one does have the digital video output, and I could just get an HDMI dongle and just plug it into there, but there are lots of models of these without the digital video output, and people won't be able to just do that. So maybe I might do that in a future episode. So yeah, I think you can do a hell of a lot with the Cube ODE and get proper nerdy and geeky, and I've only really just skimmed the surface to make sure some games play, which they do. I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and I hope you've enjoyed this video too. But I don't think I've got anything else to say, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.